I would say for a big part, the energy industry might be too slow to really come up with new things. They are predominantly an engineering culture, an engineering industry. Everything is an engineering problem. And we discussed today already about the psychology of people, economic systems, how they work, incentives, and completely different way of looking at the same problem. So, and I represent the European energy industry, and what I know there is there are a lot of questions, but not very many answers. Some of these people stand up and see that we need answers, and with the current system, with the current thinking, with the current people, will not get any new answers.
Basically, what we did, it is a group of people coming together with a big idea. And the big idea is how can we make change beneficial for society. And basically it will be a discovery who all is going to participate on our journey and what we are going to discover. So it's not so much about hours, it's about fun. And it's doing things in a really completely different way. And let's find out together how we can do that, how we achieve it. It is great to have different people in a room who all have nudges which will help to build this change. And we are now in the phase of discovering it. We are going to discover together. So at the one hand, we have the ability to look at society and the things which are happening there. And of course there are things which makes us wonder. And let us see new opportunities. We are working on a method to make that tangible. So first we want to discover what are the stories that we do not see because they are in our blind spots. So I come from an energy company, and this morning as you woke up, the sun was shining. And the sun was delivering 6,000 times the amount of energy we need. And from your consumer perspective, you have your roof, there lays the energy, and the thing you need is to put it 1 meter below in your socket, and then from your perspective, the engineering problem would be solved. Secondly, we want to work on innovation that is not money driven. That's about value creation. That helps us to build something new which would really add to society. Third, we are very clear about it that this means a transition for society. So we have a working model which is called the 3 horizons, which help us to create a far future and then do a step back to discover what we need for the transition.
What I would like to bring to this meetup, but also to the series that I hope will follow from this one, is inspiration, to inspire people to get a grip on how they think and why they have the set of ideas that are leading in their lives, are leading in their way of thinking about economy, about value, and I hope I can inspire people to, well, not only to get a grip on new ideas, but also to be critical on not the ideas as such, but on the reason why they think and why they believe in these ideas. And we have to start replacing them with a new bundle of narratives that will help us to create a new order from a new starting point. Now we are in a unique position historically that I think 95% of us has enough to eat and has a roof to live under. So our starting point to talk about new stories and a new social order is a completely different one than we have seen throughout history.
So without checking with these change makers in the industry, it might end up with a storyline that runs flat. In the industry, most of the executives are called dinosaurs, and also the companies, and that is that relates to how they move. And so this, I would say, is completely new and refreshing for them.
what I want to do with you guys is exactly how can we come to a method to start this new way of thinking. This new way of thinking which is beneficial for society, which is not money driven. And what I came up with is a 3-step approach, which I want to discover with you guys. And actually what I want to do is that we create a meetup and we discover it with everybody who wants to participate.
Tonight I got to know the company, I got to know where they want to go to, I got to know, or I had a better insight of everything that's possible, which for me is a normal way of thinking, but I realized for the rest of the world is kind of a difficult way of thinking. So I really feel at ease and at place, and it's very interesting to have my brain triggered, tickled, encouraged to go and make the impossible possible.
It's a fairy tale about a society where there are rules and there are certainties. So you know the emperor is rich, and he's so rich that he's buying the most expensive clothes the world can buy. What is made in the fairy tale is clothes which are made out of air, because that was the most expensive thing he could buy. So in the story you have the scene where the emperor walks through the street and all the people are in shock and awe because there is the emperor wearing his clothes, and everybody knows this is so expensive. This has to be very important. Until there comes a little guy, 8 years old, 9 years old, and he looks at the emperor and he says, "But well, the emperor is naked." And everybody starts to laugh because after that boy cried out, we are not able to see the story in another way because the emperor was actually naked. But that means we have to lose all the rules, all the things we are used to look at the world, but aren't actually true.
I came here initially with just a big fascination for innovation and progress towards a more green and community-oriented society. But also what really fascinated me was that this effort helps to bust through people's blind spots and sort of facilitate this whole worldwide shift we're seeing in thinking away from a more materialistic society to a community society.
So we're here to identify blind spots about our economy, not necessarily, but even more about the way we think, I think, about our economy and about prosperity and about value.
We are creating things which will actually break just outside the warranty period, because from an economical perspective of growth, that's nice, but from a value perspective, it's crazy. So, step 1 is discover ways to identify those blind spots. Innovation is the second step. If you put an engineer and a designer and a computer guy together, and they have lots of fun, what they do is they create value. They want to build things that great that will last 1,000 years, and they will want to write their names on it. But if you are part of a company, a fourth guy comes in and he asks, yeah, but what is the business case? What is the logic? How are we going to make money of it? And what normally happens is that he takes the value creation part and he breaks it. There is one problem in creating value. There's a second problem in creating the business case. But we don't have to do the second step. And as soon as we can come up with ideas that ask only an investment, we can do it on Kickstarter. And if it's a one-time investment and a continuous value creation, we would, with all the enthusiasm, have creating something in the world which is continuously value creating.
Two things are needed to develop that. One is to teach people about how people think, how we as human beings think, and how we develop not only our personal thoughts but also our collective thoughts as a group, as a company, as a society as a whole. And I think we need knowledge, or we need a higher level of understanding about how we form ideas and how these ideas get a grip of ourselves. And on our actions, of course. And secondly, I think you need to guide people in letting go of old ideas that they have a fading belief in.
Looking at it from an abundance perspective helps us create new ecosystems. There's just no books about it, there's no modeling about it. And I think the world needs those ideas, those theories, those approaches.
And I think we started to trigger our minds into letting go of what we think, how things have to be, and just actually change vision and goggles and just go like, not even the sky is the limit. And that really brings a lot of fun and enthusiasm into me. So that's what I take home with me today.
There's a method which is called the Three Horizon approach, which I want to explore and make more tangible. If you look in the world of today, you are caught by the paradigms of today. What I want to do with you guys is to explore how can we think about transitional futures, wherein everything is free, where we work beneficial for society, where fun is more important than money. First, if you say we make the whole world for free, people will laugh and say it's crazy. The second phase is that they say it is dangerous. The third phase is it is normal. It's my personal belief. There's one big story in every human, and that's about connection. It's being heard, being seen, and being understood.
I don't feel like, I mean, it's really nice, but I study business and I don't know how to create new ways of energy, or I feel that I'm not qualified, or don't know the subject that much.
Not yet.
But it's
Not yet, well, at least.
but identifying blind spots. Could you have fun in it?
Yes, of course, fun, yeah.
Thinking about how we can make innovation
No,
free.
yes.
And they have to rewrite all the innovation books. That would be a nice thing to do. Having fun with lots of people, because that is actually what we are doing. The only thing we are doing on the site is that we are training our mind to seeing things differently. And as soon as we have spotted that story, we will think about ways to share it. If you think about what are the stories that you will remember for years and years and years, it's the stories about connection.
The issue of energy, the right for everybody to have energy, is on a strain, or I would say the industry now doesn't know how to solve it. And where else than to look for in creative students, free thinking minds to come up with different solutions and a different take on the problem.
We as a society have a reason why we do the things we do. And it's a story that we tell ourselves, that we repeat. And I love to detach from a story and try and just make a completely new one.
If we build such an ideal world, something magical happens. Because if you define the transitional future, which is called here Horizon 3, then you can think about how could the transition to that world be. And what you then notice is that you come up with completely different research questions as we now normally ask. Because by walking back from that transitional future, you come from another world with other rules, with other paradigms. And this helps us explore us, so we actually could make a tangible journey.
I love the idea that innovation goes really fast. It's just the human brain that cannot embrace that speed to make the innovation actually working as fast as it goes. And today I really felt Yeah, I say that.
Transformative is
Invited
also, good in a
to
certain
go with the
sense.
speed of thinking innovation.
I don't know in what way, but
Yeah.
it has to be in.
Most of the political discussion of the last 200 years was contained one single issue, namely ownership and economic inequality.
If the assets are owned by a company, the company will make a business case and they will earn money. Especially if you look at Uber, they have an end game where they are the new utility of transportations and they want to make a lot of money. But imagine what would happen if the self-driving cars are ownerless. Then it's just a machine. And a machine has no urge for money because it's just a machine.
My ideal world would be one in which obviously there's the whole supporting community, because I feel like when we support one another, our material needs are automatically taken care of. This only comes about when there's more value placed on life than just consumerism. That's also a co-creative process that we learn to get a wave together, and that takes time.
There is this video with one crazy guy dancing alone and doing like crazy dance on a party or festival or whatever, and then a second guy joins him, and then it's already not one crazy guy, these are two crazy guys, and then there is a third one and it's already a movement.
Nomads is a business school, but it's a business school with a twist, because it's about creating and connecting. It's about looking at the world in a different way. One of the reasons I wanted to work with nomads is that I work a lot with people who innovate, but I think you can help society look at a different way. There was an article in Der Spiegel where they talked about how this business school is turning the world upside down. So now we came here with a crazy idea, with an ambitious idea, not to make money, but to make the world a little bit better and use the energy of all the people here to start going and moving.
Well, this meetup really just seems like it's the seeds for this consciousness shift, and we're seeing this all around the world. And I really wanted to help out and develop new models, and I wanted to find my own blind spots. Because this starts with all of us. It's taking personal responsibility for our own misconceptions about society and sort of waking up from the elaborate lie we've been fed our whole lives.
I mean, I'm not an expert in that, but in my opinion, people don't trust people's but ideas. You might, or ideas that you can connect with and that you can develop or have already or develop faith in. And you can see the benefits of it before people let go. What I do know is that people won't let go of an old story before they have a new, a positive alternative.
So this is for me another way of looking at the problems, at the challenges that are up ahead. What I know from the energy is this might be the single most important topic of our time. How can we change our current system to a completely clean system, and how can we change other industries into this clean system?
I really love the question about, so if it costs this much to have solar panels and that is done, why isn't it done? And immediately my head was like psychology, storytelling, sun, connection, blah, 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 blah. So I really love the triggers I get everywhere. This energy thing is a really good beginning or starting point to connect the dots.
I really enjoy the discussion. Already see a lot of potential.
It was more the overall idea that you can change the world, that you can start innovation, that everybody can make a difference, and that's very important to me.
I think that's the most important thing, to make people feel that they're in a safe place and you won't be laughed at or whatever. It's just because brainstorming is about getting all that weird shit out of your head into the open, because the weirdest thought might actually lead to a world-changing event.
there any questions?
What we have to wonder when we create the story is how to maybe have more weirdos joining us.